What's up? What's up, everybody? Look, Super Bowl Sunday was completed on Sunday evening. The Kansas City Chiefs have done it again. But there were a lot of results from this game, a lot of outcomes, and a lot of expectations, and a lot of things we need to talk about that happened during this game. We talk about injuries, we talk about key plays, we talk about overtime, and we talk about who the finger should be pointed at as the 49ers make a huge move already to the offseason. So buckle up with me, Lady E, and CHenry for the final show of the season. This is Enter the Lab Podcast, presented by Red Zone DC Media.
My fault. What happened? I'm eating Popeye.
This man says he's eating some Popeyes. Commercial.
I'm ready for a break.
Save this clip!
Wipe your hands. Wipe your hands. And
Commercial.
We over here about to die thirst over here.
Thing on the menu today, bro, and that's work. That's work for 60 minutes, bro. That's the only job we got to do today, bro. What you playing for? What you playing for? What you playing for? What y'all?
Get real lonely with the mic on, bro. Just want to talk to my friends.
This is Enter the Lab Podcast, presented by Red Zone DC Media. It's your boy DT. We got Lady E. Seeing her, he's going to pop in a couple of minutes. But, hey, it's such a better day for me, for you guys, because, dang, we're not going to get football, in a sense, for probably the next 7 months. But, off season is about to get ready to start. But let's go ahead and talk about the game last Sunday, E. It kind of lived up to the expectations, right? The over, we did call the over. It was not going to go over. We called that. I was super excited about that, but the game still went the way I saw, in a sense. And Kansas City, they pulled it through, and they got their third Super Bowl in the past couple of years, and their fourth overall. And Patrick Mahomes, he has done it again.
Back-to-back champs.
Back-to-back champs.
Look, I should know something about back-to-back. I should know something about that back-to-back. Shout out to the Georgia Bulldogs. But no, I'm not gonna lie to you. The game started off very boring, very boring. I was like, okay, it's about to be one of those Super Bowls. Again, nobody's getting anything going. Nothing is clicking. 49ers only scoring 3. It's like, I need some type of action. And we did. We got that action kind of in the middle, late to third quarter, going into the fourth quarter, which sent us straight into overtime. And I just want to say this. As a professional football player, and I'm not saying I know everything, but as a professional football player, you need to understand the overtime rules. And according to Kyle Shanahan, from videos that we have seen, he thought, and keyword, he thought that they were going to be able to tie it up and they'll be able to get one more chance, because they're thinking in their mind, this is like us going back and forth in a regular quarter. No, you only scored 3. Remember that, So again, that was kind of crazy to even hear them say that they really didn't understand the overtime rules. And I'm just like, biggest game of your career, and y'all telling me y'all didn't understand that. So, hey, Andy had a plan. They gave Patrick Mahomes. He used to always say, never leave Aaron Rodgers with too much time. And now you got to give that to Pat Mahomes. Do not leave Patrick with too much time. Lesson learned.
Oh, okay. So for those that need a reminder for the new overtime rules, so it has been told and has been said that both teams will get an opportunity to get the ball and to win the game. The 49ers decided hey, I am going to get the ball first, which shocked some of the Kansas City players, including Patrick Mahomes. Did you see that video with Mahomes' face
Yeah,
today?
they say like, hey, they want the ball. They want the ball. Let them have the ball.
I was
And
like,
then he like, wait a minute, they want the ball? Like, yeah, they want the ball. Let them get it. Take it. We got it. Like they already knew what was up. I'm sorry, they already knew what was up.
so that happening, and even though that happened, I still felt like the Niners had a chance, to end it and kind of put a dagger to it, or possibly it could have went to a second overtime.
Yeah.
But I think this is where it comes in, and we talk about some of the key players and some of the key events. To me, nobody has really talked about it as much as I have seen. Chris Jones was the best defensive player in that Super Bowl to me, or at least one of the key Super Bowl
One of the
players,
key
because
pieces, yeah.
yeah, there were multiple shot plays that Kyle Shanahan and crew were trying to dial up, and every time it was dialed up, it was being disrupted by Chris Jones, and the
Mm-hmm.
pass was either short or it was a little bit over the top of some of the wide receivers who were open against the Kansas City defenders, and including the last drive where they had Brandon Ayuk wide open in the middle of the field, but because Chris Jones' speed got to Brock Purdy, it leads to an incompletion in which they had to settle for a field goal. That to me was a huge play, and those plays like that get unrecognized. And I just had to acknowledge that for Chris Jones because he was balling that game. And
Oh yeah, I mean he was the main vocal person on the sideline to try to get that defense together in the beginning, because I'm not gonna lie to you, they was getting torched by the run game, and we said that we kind of said last week when it came down to it, it was gonna matter about the trenches. Kansas City is a stingy defense, but they have shown vulnerabilities before in the past. We know that that corner, their DBs are one of the top in the league, but again, you're only as great as your front seven. So again, Chris Jones had to get that defense together because they were getting ran on majority of the game. But here's my thing that trips me out about 49ers, and I'm going to say this. I do not understand what goes through Kyle Shanahan's head that when you have something in sense, when you have something working, do not go away from it. You kept KC on their toes with that run game. CMC was doing what he needed to do. Okay. Debo going out with a hamstring, but coming back in showed you that they weren't done. They weren't going to go out. And also sending prayers out to Greenlaw, because that was a freak accident.
Yeah.
That was a freak accident. Seriously, that was a freak accident. But it's at the end of the day, you got to look at it. When you have something that's legitimately working, do not run from that. Do not. Y'all had something going. There was something going. Because I was at a Super Bowl watch party, and the dude was like, come on, Kyle, run the freaking ball. I said, you got to remember who you're talking to. This is Kyle Shanahan you're talking about. He's going to not run the ball. Like, you got to know who you're talking to. Not going to run the ball. And we saw that in the third quarter. I forget, but I know it was in the third quarter where he had 3 straight back-to-back passing plays. Not one run play, all passing plays. So again, it's you got to look at things like that. Especially not when you're playing the Kansas City Chiefs, and you got Pat Mahomes. It's like us when we used to talk about Tom Brady. You can't do that when you got Brady on the other side, or when we had Aaron Rodgers. You can't do that when you have Aaron Rodgers, even with Drew Brees. You can't do that when you got Drew Brees. Like, you got to understand, you got Patrick Mahomes on the other side. You can't do that.
Yeah. So what's good, CHenry? Glad to see you pop in real quick. So we're just talking about some of the events that happened on Super Bowl Sunday, mainly Kyle Shanahan's play calling and the 49ers decision to take the ball in overtime, which has shocked a lot of people throughout the game and over the whole week. So what are your thoughts about Shanahan taking that opportunity to just thinking that, hey, if I get the ball first, I can maybe finish them off, or go with my defense who's been already on the field?
To be honest with you, and first of all, man, good evening to both of you. You know what I'm saying? Excuse me, I got a little scratchy voice, man. It's so cold in the D. So you know what I'm saying? I'm a little under the weather. But with that being said, I really had no problem with what Kyle did, man, to be honest with you, because he didn't set out to get 3 points. You know what I'm saying? He wanted to score a touchdown. That was his goal, and he felt that his offense had some momentum going at that point, and his defense had been on the field for the last, for seemingly most of the fourth quarter. So, it made sense to me. I'm not really, and I don't know, maybe it's kind of, looking at what actually happened. I feel like even if he didn't get the ball, if Kansas City goes down and scores and you don't score, you get 3 or you get stopped. The only thing is it pushes you to have to make a decision on fourth down. You know what I'm saying? When you have the football, are you going to actually try to, get the 7 in your initial drive, or do you settle for the 3? But either way, man, I don't really think it affected the game. I think that, they got stopped, they got held up, and, and Kansas City ended up, winning the, scoring 7 points. So, hey, man, it's tough. It's tough.
I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, we even talked about it earlier, Hen, about Patrick and them being shocked that they wanted the ball first, like that they wanted the ball first. You know what I mean? So again, it's like they already knew. KC already knew what they needed to do. And just like Andy Reid said at the end, he was like, well, it was just another variation of corn dog. We just put ketchup and mustard on it this time. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, they already knew the game plan and what to do. The defense stepped up when the defense needed to step up. They made the stops, held them to 3, and they said, hey, let's go put the ball in our quarterback's hand. Offense got it. We good. And they won. And that's the thing about it. Again, I'm not sure, but I'm going to say this, and I know everybody's not going to like it, but until Kyle Shanahan pays for his crimes, he will never win the Super Bowl. Just saying.
Now, those the crimes in Atlanta, or what crimes are we talking about?
Those are the crimes in Atlanta. And then, some people say about the 49ers with Kaepernick. I don't know about that one. Kyle Shanahan is not going to win nothing until he pays for his crimes.
Right, my man. You do right.
I like that.
Exactly.
I had almost forgotten about that a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Going into Super Bowl Sunday, I was still mad, about them beating the Lions. So, I mean, my pick was really, based a lot out of spite. But my wife put me up on game. She was like, I was like, yeah, I kind of like San Francisco, though. They got a tight little squad. And she was like, no, since Kaepernick. And I said, you know what? You may be on to something. Then they did Steve Wilkes, my boy Steve Wilkes, the day after. I mean, real the same way-ish. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I'm
according to 49ers fans, though, hold on, but according to 49ers fans, that Steve Wilkes didn't do what he needed to do. They stayed in cover. They stayed in cover zone. They didn't have nothing going. They didn't try to make no adjustments at all.
I don't know. I would say this. I hadn't heard a lot of Steve Wilkes slander until this game. It's been real quiet on the Steve Wilkes front until this game. Maybe I wasn't listening in the right places, but I will say this, and maybe and you guys correct me if I'm wrong or inform me. It's my understanding that he was asked to run a system that was not a system of his own. That was one that is of the lineage of previous coordinators, and he is a respected defensive coordinator in his own right, man. He is well decorated in his league, and for him to not be able to dial up, you know what I'm saying, what he feels is important, or instill a system that he feels can be successful is kind of crazy to me in the first place. Now I can see if you say, hey, we've built our team, our personnel to play this way, and we kind of would like to play this way. But if you believe, if you asking me to be your defensive coordinator, you got to believe in what I do. I would think, you know what I'm saying? If you wanted to just do what everybody else was doing here, then just elevate somebody. Why bring me in? So,
he learned from the great Dan Quinn.
1 year. What's that now?
I say he learned from the great Dan Quinn, because that's exactly what Atlanta did when
Well, I
we
mean,
lost Kyle Shanahan.
he held what we gonna talk about to be, you know what I'm saying, one of the great quarterbacks to 19 points in regulation. He ain't fumble a kickoff. He ain't fumble a handoff. He ain't missed Debo in the end zone. He ain't missed Ayuk in the end zone. Steve Wilkes didn't do a lot of stuff, but we ain't see he the only one getting fired today. That's all I'm gonna say. Until they do right by these Negroes. They gonna be in trouble.
They do right.
Come
on, point the camera.
No,
they gonna be in trouble. And I don't like to bring it up a lot, but I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? They do right.
But it's the truth though, because again, I know a lot of people don't want to admit, want to admit it, but when you see moves like this, and I'm just being honest, when you see moves like this and you know that there's underlying problems, but like you said and like you stated, if it is true that he was trying to run somebody else's defense, the same thing happened in Atlanta with Dan Quinn. He put Steve Sarkisian in to try to run Kyle Shanahan's offense. Only gave that man 1 year and basically fired him, used him as a scapegoat when it's you. When it's you. We got to really look at this. We got to really look at it now. Is Kyle going to go out the same way Dan Quinn going to go out? Probably not, because he's going to keep San Francisco relevant. He's going to keep him. He's going to keep him relevant. Kyle Shanahan's going to keep San Francisco relevant. I don't think he's going to go out the same way that Dan Quinn, but y'all have to start looking at this. Is this man cannot get over the hump. He's been to the Super Bowl twice with 2 different quarterbacks. First one, everybody said, oh, it was Jimmy Garoppolo. No, that man didn't run the ball. Okay. Now they're saying, oh no, now the defense was a problem. It wasn't the defense. The man didn't run the ball.
I will say this though, and I'm not caping for Kyle. I don't like the Steve Wilkes move. I can say that. But in both instances, we saw Jimmy Garoppolo airmail. I forgot who the wide receiver was in the end zone that would have won that game. In this game right here, we saw Purdy airmail Debo twice and airmail Ayuk once. That would have been a for sure touchdown. So maybe he needs to find, you know what I'm saying, he needs to up the ante on these quarterbacks. Now, we were talking about Purdy as a MVP quarterback
game manager
earlier in this season. Now, and I think game managers can still win in this league, but we talk about what he needs to do. Maybe he needs to elevate at that position, man, because that seems to be holding him up.
Yeah, dude.
I keep talking about y'all coach because y'all coach sit over here and left us in shambles.
Now it's they coach.
Now it's they coach.
They get a coach. Exactly. They get a coach for 4 days. Now it's they coach. You know what I'm saying? So
this is my thing.
He step in like stepdaddy over there.
This is my thing about the Kyle Shanahan. I get it. So, talking about this defense, the defense did not really. It didn't look the same, in all honesty, in terms of pass rushing and in terms of consistency this year, from going to D'Amico Ryans to Steve Wilkes. Whatever, there are some things, that he wasn't able to run. Maybe there was some in-house conversations about, hey, I still want to keep the system that made it good this year. And Wilkes, he's come from different trees. He has his own philosophies as well. He has had his own top 5 units in other places. But to me, it's still a scapegoat, because the biggest point that CHenry made was he's not the one kicking and missing extra points when it could have been 17, to 19 or something like that.
That extra point came back and bit him in the ass. I ain't gonna lie to that. That missed field goal came back and bit him.
He's not out there, missing key tackles. He's not out there missing easy layup throws on 3rd down and stuff like that. He's not out there throwing the ball almost 15 times and then your first couple of runs are. That's where I have a problem when, a lot of the stuff is on you, Kyle, because when I think about the San Francisco 49ers, I'm instantly going to think about offense because of Kyle Shanahan. I know they got Nick Bosa. I know they got Fred Warner. I know they got a couple of these defensive guys that has been the staple to one of their NFC runs in the past couple of years. But Kyle Shanahan is the guy that makes that offense go with no matter what quarterback he's had. Now, we had Jimmy G and now he had Brock Purdy. But now looking at this, there is a reason why they traded up all those picks to try to get a Trey Lance type quarterback because they felt like he was a game changer. And at the end of the day, a manager, he's going to get you 3 points. Those game changers, they're going to kill you with the throw.
And we see the game changers.
Or whatever is needed, because in this game, I don't know how much you touched on it, but we talked about what Mahomes can do. 333 yards through the air, 33 completions. So it was kind of dink and dunk. He got the short passing game going, but when he needed to use his feet, 9 carries for 66 yards in this game. You know what I'm saying? Had a long carry of 22 yards. So when he needed to, again, make a play, just however it needs to be made, he made a play. I've seen guys like MVS making catches. I see guys like Justin Watson making catches. We talked all this year about him not having a receiving core. It don't matter. McCole Hardman, they running the same play they ran last year. That's Sky Moore and Kadarius Toney. Kadarius Toney, the number 1 receiver. He say he a number 1. He a number 1 out there. I guess you is, man, with Patrick Mahomes, because McCole Hardman did exactly the same thing this year, man. You know what I'm saying? So again, man, Mahomes, man. Then we got to talk about it, man. 3 of 5, man. Very early in his career. I'm not even a KC fan. You know what I'm saying? But the era has begun, bro.
But no,
we are finding ourselves in the Mahomes era.
Hey, we Brady retired, and now a lot of people are going to be looking at Patrick Mahomes. And I told him, I said, with him only being in his late 20s, I said, I honestly can see him either tying up with Brady for Super Bowl wins. I can see that.
Man,
he's I can see that.
Andy got that look like he ain't trying to go back home no time soon. He ain't trying to deal with the wife no time soon. It can be a problem. And now it's going to see, like, listen, I don't really like making comparisons like this, but it's looking like a Jordan-esque type and Brady type era about to happen. And when that happens, they don't win them all. They win a lot of them. But what that happens is, man, they really do a lot of cop blocking on some of the top players in the league. So it's gonna be some guys that may not get no ships. You know what I'm saying? So some of these guys, Lamar, you better tighten up. Burrow, Allen, y'all better tighten up. Y'all might be out here with the Jordan of this shit, and y'all might not get no ships. Y'all better get y'all stuff together. I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody thought, and I like this comment, like, nobody didn't think anything about Patrick Mahomes. I mean, I remember the first game that I saw with Patrick Mahomes was between him and Baker Mayfield, and that's when we found out the Big 12 really doesn't play big defense, with both of them having about 500 yards apiece on offense. So again, Andy, he silently builds teams. He doesn't really go out there and go get those splash players like that, because nobody didn't think Patrick Mahomes was a splash player. I mean, they got Pacheco in the sixth round? He was a sixth round draft pick. So he was a 7th round. Okay, he was a 7th round draft pick. And nobody didn't think that this man is doing it. So what Kansas City is doing is what a lot of teams try to do. But I just feel like Andy just sees something in these guys that work for his system. And he knows how to use him for his system. Because, again, I would have never thought Patrick Mahomes would be like this. Literally. You know what I mean? I didn't see this coming.
And see, that's where it comes with, like, that's why it's hard to evaluate the quarterback position, because there's so many nuances that you have to keep up with. There's so many things that a lot of teams would prefer. A lot of people, we have heard, they prefer, guys that play in structure, stuff like that. Mahomes, coming from Texas Tech, a team that was always middle of the pack, won't really in the spotlight as much. He had a way dangerous playing style, and nobody thought it was going to be translatable to the league. And, you had Deshaun Watson in that very same class, and you also had Trubisky. The Bears took Trubisky at number 1, and Deshaun Watson was the man, who went up against Alabama twice in the college football playoff, both put up historical performances and even won a national championship. But the funny thing about it is he still went third, and Mahomes was like, what, 10? He went 10?
I think so.
Did he go 10? I thought he went in the early teens.
I thought he went lower than that.
I think
I know they traded up to get him though.
They traded up to get him. They had a plan for him. He sat for a whole year, and
until Alex Smith got hurt.
Yeah, nobody thought this kid was going to be doing this, man. To throw 67 touchdowns in your first 2 years and you win a Super Bowl, then you go on a show and tell people, "Well, I just been playing backyard football. I still can't read defenses." That's disgusting. Yeah, that is disgusting.
But he's learning now. He's learning now.
And you go to you have a great coach. You're in a great system. They seem to have a very, very good eye for talent when it comes to grabbing guys in terms of drafting. So I think the future is bright for him, man. They're going to draft probably 1 or 2 receivers in this draft. He won a championship this year, basically with no receivers out there. I think Rashee Rice had 6 catches for 39 yards. That was a killer for a lot of people who bet, because I think 40 yards was his minimum for everybody's on everybody's parlay. So that was real nasty. Everybody was hoping for a stat correction of some sort. But yeah, you get 1 or 2 receivers, to this mix. My man Kelsey, he looks like, what I'm saying, he's back rejuvenated with the Taylor Swift reunion, if you will. And that girl, hey, ain't no curves over there, baby. He's all straight away, baby. All straight away.
I quit.
But with that being said, they're going to be problematic. That defense is good. Now we got to check out and see what happens with free agency. Chris Jones, I believe, is a free agent. L'Jarius Sneed is a free agent. So they have to, sign those guys or keep those guys. But, man, it looks good, man. Willie Gay, Bolton at linebacker. They're tough, man.
Yeah. So I know who this is, but he said that the Super Bowl is not the reason why Wilkes was fired. He's also said that it's been a season of full disarray since the beginning of the season. And it says Wilkes didn't fit what Kyle wanted to run defensively. So my question is to that is if he did not fit, why you hire him? That's the main question. Why would you hire somebody who did not fit what you want to run defensively? Was that your owner going over the coach's head and doing that, or did the coach agree to that? That's the question that has to be answered, because again, I don't believe in giving anybody somebody else's playbook and telling them to run it. You know what I mean? Like, hey, here's what we ran. Are you familiar with some of these concepts, and can you try to incorporate that into what you already do? Don't just say, here, we want you to run this and thinking. That's like you giving somebody else. That's like me giving DT my job and DT give me his job, and I don't know what the heck to do. Can't do that.
See it all when we see things all different.
You don't want this job
differently. You
don't want this job. I don't see 3 fights today. You don't want this.
Oh no, I would have been out there recording.
Even if you have the same playbook, folks see games differently. Folks, where somebody basically, I want to go, I want to blitz, I want to drop back in zone. You may see it a whole different way. So the calls may not be the same. So again, I think he was put at a disadvantage, not being allowed to call his game or implement his defense. And I can understand again, when you look at this team, yes, they are Super Bowl ready. They were in the Super Bowl. They have a great personnel that's been built to play in a certain style of play. But even with that being said, incorporate some of that stuff into your stuff. But I'm bringing you here for your expertise. If I'm just looking for another play caller, elevate somebody from the staff.
Yeah, especially if somebody's on staff knows what you want to do. And we have seen, past couple of coaches have come from this coaching staff, become head coaches. So I think that probably would have been a move, but maybe, they wanted to go outside of the table a little bit. But unfortunately, it did not work. And Steve Wilkes is out of the job, and there are some considerations for people. There are some reports talk about Brandon Staley getting opportunities. I don't know, man. I mean,
Maybe
he
they just didn't mesh. Maybe they just didn't, the personalities just didn't mesh. I would have liked for him to get one more opportunity out there with that team. They seem so close. Maybe having some type of meeting of the mind, saying, "Hey, some type of compromise. I'll do this and that, run this percentage of that playbook or defense or what have you." But 1 year, man, come on, man.
Yeah, he became.
Yeah, like I said, I just feel like that was just again, that could have been something that could have been talked about. Again, I know some 49er fans complained about it, that they didn't change the personnel, that they didn't try to add anybody else to the personnel to try to help bolster the defense. And I'm just like, well, again, if this is not your guy, why even waste this man's time just to let him go because he didn't do anything? Now, who's to say the next person that come in here is going to make this even better? Who's to say that?
Oh boy, it's about to be interesting, man. About to be interesting. What's up, family? This loss is on Kyle Shanahan. We took the ball first. Told my family Niners have lost the game. That is nasty.
Exactly. What's up, family? The loss is on Kyle Shanahan. When he took the ball first, I told my family the 49ers has lost the game. I mean, again, my thing is like this, and I'm going to say it again. You don't leave Aaron Rodgers time on the clock. You don't leave Brady time on the clock. And now you don't leave Patrick Mahomes time on the clock. Don't do it. Lesson learned. Don't do it. Don't do it. That's all I got to say about that.
Also, let's also talk about a little bit. I want to share and send a true thought and prayer to the families and for the Kansas City Chiefs parade incident that happened yesterday. That was foully disgusting, and to have that happen on a day of celebration is truly disgusting. But I'm praying for the families. I'm praying for the loved ones that were scarred by this event.
Yeah. I know, shout out to Chiefs Kingdom. I know all of us on here have some type of interaction with a lot of people from Chiefs Kingdom, especially on Twitter. And we know that everybody was out there celebrating. So it's good to know that all of our family from Chiefs Kingdom off of Twitter is perfectly fine, safe. It's just, again, it's a sad time. We can't even sit over here and celebrate at parades, for the NFL now. It's supposedly was a personal beef that got brought to the parade, and that to me is like, you got to leave that stuff out. Like, you know what I mean? You got family here, you got children who were hurt. It's not, so prayers to the family of the radio station. Hope, because again, I heard she had 2 kids, so sending prayers to them about that, because nobody shouldn't be having to bury a loved one over some stupidity, honestly.
Yeah, thoughts and prayers, man, to on the situation. This is terrible that people can't come together and celebrate. It's supposed to be a very, very joyous time, and like you said, now someone's being laid to rest. 22 folks are wounded. It's just sad. It's sad that we are at this point in our society, man. So we got to continue to, do better, and we got to do better as individuals. We got to do better as people. We got to do better with some of our, gun laws. Too many folks have access to guns. I'm not trying to take them away. I'm not trying to take away anybody's Second Amendment rights. I don't want nobody to go crazy on me, but there's too many guns out here, and folks are getting their hands. Folks who shouldn't have their hands on guns are getting their hands on guns, and it's unfortunate. So we got to do both, do better on all ends, man, all aspects.
Yep, exactly. That kind of ruined the celebration for them yesterday. But I just want to say this, Willie Gray Jr., I think we might be related, because for you to be running down the street with your shirt off and with a bottle of Hennessy in your hand, I think we're related. So yeah, I just want to put that out there. I really think that we are related, because it's the bottle of Henny. You didn't see nobody else with Hennessy in their hand. Just the bottle of Henny, bottle of Henny. Shout out to my true Hennessy drinkers. Just want to throw that out there. You know what I mean? But y'all, the season is over.
Yeah.
I can't believe it, man. It blew by, man. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot to celebrate, you know what I'm saying? This football
Did he
season.
hold on, wait a minute. Did he really just dust off this Michigan again?
Yeah, I
Well,
mean,
am I
you know what
tripping?
I'm saying? It was a celebratory moment, you know what I'm saying, here in the Michigan state, you know what I'm saying, in the mitten state. So yeah, it's a lot, man. It's looking good, man. Y'all got new coaches. Draft season is coming up. I'm trying to see if Atlanta's going to be trying to trade up and get him a quarterback, or if my boy JJ is finna ascend the quarterback ranks and break into the top 10 somehow. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to see what, Washington is willing to do to move up to number one, to get the one and only Caleb, because it seems like if they don't get him, their heart is going to be broken. I hope they don't draft the bust, whoever it is. There's 66% chance that two of them guys going to bust. So I hope they don't get, you know what I'm saying, whoever that guy is. I hope they don't get Sam Howell 2.0. But we'll see how it goes, man. But yeah, man, the offseason is upon us, baby.
It is. We need a Hennessy sponsorship. I can probably get us one.
we do need a Hennessy sponsorship.
Yeah, bourbon and cognac. No, we don't do bourbon and
do
cognac.
Any of that, all that. I do all that.
We don't do the bourbon. We do the cognac. I don't do the bourbon. But yeah. So now what are we again looking forward to this off season combine at the end of the month? We're gonna shout out to it. I will give a shout out to Michigan for breaking the record for having the most people actually come to the combine. And let's see if we can get half of them drafted though first, and then that's the real celebration. But yes, congratulations to Michigan for breaking that record. Y'all over there holding out on folks with all those potential draft picks. So I just want to say that. It's okay, DT. Ohio State will find some way to get back in.
I mean, they trying to buy everybody they can, DT. They buying everybody they can. What you want? What more you want them to do? What more you want them to do, dog?
Are you guys done?
What you mean, man? They spending every dollar they possibly can. You got to be happy with that. What's the problem?
There is no problem. I just heard like Michigan like 17 times already. I'd rather talk about Caleb Williams than talk about the blue people.
That's because you still hope y'all gonna get Caleb Williams. That's why.
Nah, it don't matter to me. I'm not Caleb a bus, but Caleb is.
Has Cliff done his press conference to kind of give y'all an insight of what the?
Oh yes, okay, yeah. This is a good pivot. Yeah, so he did have his press conference today. So I did not listen to all of it because I was at work and had to get these kids home. I did read some of the text from some of our reporters. He sounds like a guy that's just. He sounds like he's kind of glad he doesn't have to worry about the whole team, and he just got to worry about something that that he enjoys doing. And that's calling plays. So, of course, people were going to ask him the Caleb Williams questions and stuff, and he did as much as reflecting today as possible. I won't say I was impressed, but I was seldomly found by him, and I think he's going to be okay. I still need to see how it's going to work. I like some of the addition of the coaching staff we have. Anthony Lynn is definitely a huge addition with his respect around the league, how he controls the run game and develop running backs. So it's all going to be about the marriage of the run game and passing game with Cliff Kingsbury. I don't know how I forgot his name that easily. But also another thing as well, Brian Johnson is associate coach. So I think that is that's interesting right there.
Now
so
I saw y'all had about 3 quarterback coaches or something, man. What's going on with that, man?
Five quarterback coaches. Yeah, that kind of reminds me of Carolina last year. Hopefully, we all come together and have a plan for whoever the quarterback is, and we don't bump heads and stuff like that. Because I think that was the downfall for Bryce Young last year. It was too many cooks in the kitchen, and they were trying to run Frank Reich's offense, and then you had Thomas Brown, who was well respected. Couldn't really. He kind of got the bookend of bad deal in Carolina as well, so he had to go back to. Did he go back to the Rams? I think he went back to the Rams. But long story short, man, I think it's all about coming together, having a plan for Caleb, Jaden, or Drake May, whoever you take at 2, or wherever you do maybe get a number 1. I don't know what they're gonna do, but it's gonna be Lion season and stuff like that. You're gonna hear a lot of reports and stuff coming up, but I like his preference. But I was really impressed by Joe Witt, man. Joe Witt Jr. He is now the DC, and it's the things that he was talking about today. Talking about just establishing Commanders defense and being yourself, and trying to set the standard. The standard is the standard, and that's something one of our guys in our group chat had always said throughout the years during Ron. Setting a standard for yourself, and that's something that this team desperately needs. And the funny thing about it is, I get a lot of people gave gripe to EB for coaching the players hard, but from what I'm told, Joe Witt coaches players hard. So hopefully, I don't see no reports saying the defense is getting tired of Joe Witt. But hey, man, I'm excited about the coaches and stuff. I like the All-Star cast. I just I'm just praying like all of them come together with a plan of action for these guys, and we can get the best out of these players and whoever we add to the team.
I see the hope and the everything is building. Trail said he happy they came and got Lance. I don't know, Newmark, whatever his name is, long time employee. I mean, I hope he turns it around for y'all, man. Y'all deserve it, man. Y'all deserve it.
Oh yeah, he got hired too. I forgot about him. So
yeah, y'all putting together some stuff over there, man. Y'all trying to do something. You know what I'm saying? We gonna see, man.
Can you give me a little preview of him? I know he's been with y'all 20 years.
I don't want to, man. I don't want to. I don't know much about him. I don't know. He been there a long time, so he been there through the good and the bad. So I don't know. That's why I'm trying not to really, I'm trying not to hate on him. He ain't. As long as his name's not Brad, I'm good with him, man. You know what I'm saying? 26 years is a long time.
Brad good to stay. He A&T brother. I respect him.
But I don't know what this guy has done to the team because he hasn't been a new addition. So I don't know. That's all I'm gonna say on him. I wish him the best.
Okay. I'm so mad.
He said, "Yeah, see, too. Listen, man, I'm sorry,
and
man.
He said this one to you.
Listen, man. Listen, y'all are my cousins. Y'all are my cousins. Y'all are not my team. I'm not supposed to be as happy as you are. Okay. Y'all are my cousins.
Y'all terrible.
You know what I'm saying? And that's crazy because I be in your and I appreciate y'all being in the space and everything. But y'all so mad at that boy Johnson, man. Why y'all so mad at him, man? Y'all be talking about him like y'all like a scorned lover. Like he just, you know what I'm saying, lathered you up and everything, and then said he ain't want you. Man, don't do it, man. He ain't want no jobs, man. Let Ben live, man. Let Ben live. This might be the best thing to happen to y'all, man. Dan Quinn wasn't my first, not Dan Quinn. Dan Campbell wasn't my first choice either, man. It's been the best thing to happen to us, man.
Well, Dan Quinn was my choice. He was my choice. He wasn't the top choice, but he was definitely in my top.
Come on, man. After the first 4 spurned you, I guess he was your choice. But come on.
No, he was my choice.
He was in your top 3 or 4? He's your top 3?
Yes, he was in my top 3.
Dan Quinn?
Dan Quinn was in my top 3. Yes, he was.
Trail said who? Ben who?
You know who.
See, you think everybody is like these casual takes and stuff like that. I actually had a conversation with Knicks during the season.
Man, DT, I'm sorry, man. Look, don't nobody be talking about that dude. People come in our space talking about Ben Johnson. We haven't said nothing about Ben Johnson.
No. It was my man. I can't think of his name today.
Wait.
Listen, hold on, dudes. I came into space and I forgot what I was talking about. My man flat out told me that when we was talking about Spagnola. Do Spagnola want to be a head coach? Because he got the extension. Your boy, whoever was hosting your space, whoever was hosting your Commander X Redskin space came in and said some of these players, some of these coaches do not want to be head coaches like your coach Ben Johnson.
He just said save this clip. Save this clip, yo.
I tell you what, Ben Johnson not gonna show up on the.
Some of these coaches don't want to be no head coach like your coach Ben Johnson. He was still smart. He was still hurt. The volcano lava was still hot under his toes. He was still hurt. That Ben Johnson didn't want to be your coach.
Sauce fried rice. Tell him come get this 4-piece Momo sauce fried rice.
You know, that's all I'm saying, man. That's all I'm saying, man.
Sorry,
y'all be real hurt about Ben Johnson, but y'all want everybody. Y'all want the Glenn, y'all want the Ben Johnson, y'all wanted the GM, y'all want everybody, man. Y'all biting our style, man.
Matter of fact,
y'all biting our style, man.
Hey, you lucky.
We're gonna have to implement the no-fly zone from everything coming out of Washington now, because they trying to steal everything.
Look,
let me get Trick out here, man. We're gonna get the no-fly zone out here, dog.
You lucky you lucky Magic to be easy now, because he could have snatched Brad. All right, I'll let y'all.
Oh my God!
You'll be looking in a couple more years.
I'm mad that he got up here like that. That is hilarious.
Lies, man. You know, CHenry be trying to group everybody, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't speak for every commander.
No. I just had not heard. I didn't know he was in your top 3. He wasn't in many folks' top 3, though.
Yeah, but see, I'll tell you this. I dropped him out because I knew deep down, and I know for me, I need to start speaking up for what I believe in, because a lot of people, when they hear these names, they're gonna be like, no, he's a retread. But in reality, a lot of coaches we see now are retreads. Andy Reid is a retread that's got a second opportunity, and he has won 3 to 4 Super Bowls the past couple of years. It's possible. And you know, like Dan Quinn, he has had his faults, and he can tell you there are some faults that he did. Now, I'm going to give him this chance because, one, I do, from an X's and O's standpoint, far better than Ron Rivera. I think they're kind of equal in terms of, the leadership and, leader of men and stuff like that. But from coming X's and O's and having a staff that he at least won some games in Atlanta, he didn't have the contingency plan when Kyle Shanahan was gone, and then the personnel problems that came with Atlanta.
Yeah.
So once you learn from those mistakes and you get an opportunity, that's when you come in. And I didn't bring him up as much because I knew our fan base was going to be like, well, I don't want to redraft and stuff. So I did like Ben Johnson, but the biggest question I had about Ben Johnson was the staff that he was going to assemble, because I don't know Ben Johnson like that. I don't know Mike McDonald from coming from Michigan. I don't know the staff, he's going to establish when you get to the NFL. Raheem Morris, and I knew Dan Quinn, they have NFL ties. They have the experience. They have the pedigree, and they have people that would love to play for him. That was the only thing I had for those guys.
One thing I think I will say, I think name recognition when it comes to putting together a staff is a little bit overrated. A lot of these guys have been going to coaching clinics for years. A lot of these guys have relationships that we won't never know about because we're not there for years. And when you're talking about the pro game, there is a lot of smart people who want to get to that level. This is the epitome of sportsmanship, of competitiveness, of pay. This is it. So to me, you can have a guy who's been around the block and say, hey, he's going to probably have more connections because he's been around the block. But that don't necessarily mean that this other guy who has it can't put together a competent staff just because you ain't heard their names. So yeah, I just you got to be careful with that. There are a lot of bright people, as you can see now, with the changes in college football, how easy it is for coaches just to say, you know what, I'm tired of this. Let me go take my skills over here. My man from BC, he knows that In NIL wise, Boston College will never be able to really compete with the folks he has to deal with in the ACC, let alone the SEC and the Big Ten. He don't even want to even try to do that no more. I want to I want to just coach football. Where can I do that at the highest level and get paid for? Oh, I can go. Y'all need a DC?
He went back to the NFL. He went back to the NFL.
Chip Kelly, sign me up. So it's not as hard, I think, to put together a competent staff. And I think because of the changes in college football, because again, you're going to get to a point where only 35 or 40 teams, maybe 50, are really going to matter, are really going to be able to do, you know what I'm saying, great things, compete at with the NIL and bringing all this talent together. So all these other teams and coaches and things, they're going to either start to fall through the cracks or start to go for other jobs. And I think we're going to see a young exodus of young coaches start to reach out to some of these folks in the NFL, because some of those coaches are getting old. Some of that networking, like you say, is we need some new fresh blood in here. Let me get up here right now to this next level, like Brian Johnson. I mean, he's a guy that what is he? I think he's in his 20s, right?
Yeah.
Late 20s. Yeah.
No, he's early 30s, 35.
Yeah. I thought he was younger than that.
Young guy trying to get, you know what I'm saying, into the game. I think, you know, in a couple years, he may be ready to be an OC, and possibly I heard he got some head coaching interviews this cycle. So he's a guy that can, you know, matriculate like that. But I think don't put so much credence in, okay, this guy's been around so he can put together a competent staff, because it's a lot of coaches out here. This is a very lucrative craft, and if you love it, you can make money doing what you love. You know, folks gonna do it. So that's all I have on that. I ain't want to.
Yeah, I feel you, but I also, from my personal standpoint, is, you know, Ron hired a bunch of guys. You know, some of these guys, they do have names to them, but he was losing with these guys. And to me, a lot of these guys, wherever it was personnel problems or just, I think a lot of it was coaching as well. And when I see these names, these are guys that, you know, the experience, they have gotten the best out of a lot of players in the NFL. And that's the biggest thing for me, because even though there is some holes on this roster, I still think some of these guys can play. Like, it don't matter what type of division of football. Football is football to me. I don't know about y'all. It might be a debate, but football is football to me. You know, all these guys can coach anywhere. It could be D1, junior league, hockey league. You know, I'm making up leagues as I'm talking right now, but these guys, they can play, and I think for them, you know, some of them were not put in the best situation to be better what they're supposed to be. And I think that's why I really value these guys going to come in and get the best out of these players, while also trying to develop even more talent that we try to bring in coming this offseason.
Yeah, I mean, but and like I said, and that just goes, like, I agree with Henry. Like, sometimes you don't have to have like the brightest name of the coach. You need to have somebody, in my honest opinion, that's competent, that know what they're doing, that can fit to what the head coach wants. Because again, it's always going to come down to personnel. Let's be real. We have seen it several times. You get a coach in there and he doesn't have his players, and he's trying to work things with the players that he has, and it's just not coming to it. And we're so quick as fans to make judgment calls. Oh, this ain't the guy, because we believe that coaches are supposed to be able to come in and change everybody. No, sometimes you got a guy in there that's just not, first of all, he was already probably playing that position anyway. He's trying to play his true position, and it's not what you're looking for. Like, we always have to understand that. Like, again, you know why it takes baseball so long when a team has to go through rebuilding stages? Because you got to get the right players in there. It takes forever, you know? And for the NFL, when you get new head coaches, it takes about a good 2 to 3 years before you really can see what that coach can do, because they got to get their guys in there. You got to get the guys from the other regime. If you don't want to keep them, you got to get them out. Then you got to get your players in there, and you might be dealing with more rookies than you are dealing with vets. And you got to build these guys. And it always comes down, if you, like you said, I do believe more so if we can get like some college players in there, like some college coaches in there, because that helps with the development. That can help with them, because some of these coaches know what some of these guys need to go through to build themselves up, because they're doing that on the college level already. So I don't think big names don't come, like you said with Raheem. Raheem has connections. He's been a head coach before. He's a well-liked coach across the league. Anybody would want to come work for underneath him. Even some of our players, Mohamed Sanu even was like, hey, I would love to be on a Falcon staff. I would love to be a wide receiver coach to come over there. Again, you got a coach that a lot of players want to play for. A lot of coaches want to probably be underneath and learn from him, especially if he does, help turn this team around and everything. Then you're going to have that. You're going to have people wanting to come in and work underneath him and go do it. You never know. We might have a Raheem Morris tree. We know we got a McVay tree. We know we have a Shanahan tree. I mean, come on. And as the Falcons, we had the people that we needed. We had LaFleur right there. We could have moved him up and he could have ran Kyle Shanahan because he worked underneath Kyle Shanahan, but we didn't. We let him walk. So again, it's just all about what you have in your staff. And some people just don't realize and understand. And I believe like some owners, just when you have a bad coaching staff and they feel like it's the staff as a whole, they don't want to keep that. And they want to get rid of everybody when it could have been somebody in there that you could have easily promoted. And you didn't have to do all of that. You didn't have to go over there and get new personnel. You didn't have to go over there and go find these coaches and go try to figure out who works with who. Like, again, it's a lot. I'm mad at this dinosaur.
It's not a dinosaur, it's Godzilla.
It's Godzilla. I couldn't even see it. This man, God, I quit.
Let me ask you guys this.
Mm-hmm.
What are 2 major moves you would like your organizations, 2 off-season moves you would like your organizations to make this season? One is free agency, and one is with your draft pick.
For me, I need y'all to sign Danielle Hunter. Go ahead and sign Danielle. Bring my Jamaican boy over here to Atlanta. We got good Jamaican food on the east side over there. So bring Danielle Hunter over. That's what I would like. Also, I need us to go ahead and find us a way to get a quarterback. If not, I will take Justin Fields. But y'all say I did that switch. But I'll take Justin Fields, or I will prefer Jaden Daniels or Penix. So hopefully they just fall down to 8. I just fall down, just rain on me and fall down to 8. That's all I need, and then I'll be good to go. But I do need Danielle. Bring Danielle to the A. I need Danielle.
Okay, this is interesting. So for me, free agency, Washington needs to find an edge rusher. Washington's going to have to find a guy that could get to the passer. So one guy that I would intrigue and try to, be a splash, I would try to take a swing at Josh Allen from the Jacksonville Jaguars, add him to this defense to help out the front 7, get somebody that has been rising up, getting consistently 9 to 10 sacks, stopping the run, bring some athleticism, and, play on the outside. For the draft, obviously, quarterback, so I'm not even going to go there. So I'm going to go offensive line. I think offensive line definitely needs to be a draft. Cooper Beebe, guard out of Kansas State. I think that would be an ideal pick in the 2nd round to add to this offensive line group.
Look at you, DC. That boy already in prime draft mode, boy.
Yeah, prime draft.
All draft mode. All right.
Exactly, barbershop. Big things go over here. Big things. First of all, Deuce, I just want to tell you this. Y'all are not getting Calvin Ridley because he's re-signing.
Why do he want Calvin Ridley?
Oh, hold on.
Why do you want Calvin Ridley? You got McLaurin.
Wait. We will not be discussing this because Calvin Ridley is signing back with the Jags by March 12th, so I can get my 2nd round draft
out of
pick.
all the wide receivers out there.
Oh,
Man from Indianapolis. You talking about you want Calvin Ridley? Calvin bet on it, Ridley.
The fact, look, all I'm gonna say is this: he's first of all, he's not coming to Washington. He's staying with the Jacksonville Jaguars because Atlanta needs their 2nd round draft pick for Calvin Ridley. So y'all can explain that one out. Thank you.
What if he do y'all dirty? What if he signs somewhere? What you gonna?
No, that's gonna be the Jags that's gonna sit over here and do what's dirty. They probably will try to hold out and make him sign on the 13th because it has to
Oh
be.
no, man. Oh no, man. I know he just came back in the league last year, but he got 1,000 yards. But I ain't like that connection with him and Trevor Lawrence, man.
He got 1,000 yards. Okay, he got 1,000 yards. We got our third round. I just need my second round. So no, and Deuce, we're getting that pick. I'm sorry, we're getting that pick.
So they have to sign. What happens on March the 13th? Is he totally a free
So
agent?
if he has to sign, because we're still within this season, he has to sign the deal this season because it has to be an extension. If it signs on the 13th, it's a new deal. We don't get the pick.
And it's a second round pick.
It's because before Calvin decided to get banned from the NFL for that year, we were in talks with trading him to Philadelphia for a second round pick. But when he got suspended, that threw and blew all of that up. So when they traded him with the Jacksonville Jaguars, but we were still wanting the pick. The Jags didn't want the pick, but we had to offload him because we owed him $11 million, and we needed to keep that to help build the squad. So they put in there those terms and conditions that he had to hit markers to be able to get it. So he came off of reinstatement. We got a 4th round pick. When he was basically made the roster for the Jacksonville Jaguars, we got a 3rd round pick. When he hit those extra markers with the number and the playing time, where you can get with the markers with the 3rd round pick, that's what we got the 3rd round for. But when he went over and did everything, we are basically in a consensus. We get the 2nd round draft pick, but he has to sign before the new league year. If the Jacksonville Jaguars hold that up, because it's based off an extension, not a new contract.
Got you.
Yeah, they're gonna sign out on the 15th.
Y'all don't be jinxing me. That's the only way we get Justin. That's the only way Atlanta gets Justin Fields. We need that extra 2nd round. We need that extra 2nd rounder. Only way we get Justin
That's
Fields.
the only way. That's what you mean. You got a 2nd round.
No, we got a 2nd round, but if we get that Calvin Ridley pick, it could be I think that one. I think our pick is the higher pick, but we still would be able to get a draft pick in the 2nd round. That's the thing. We don't want to give up a 2nd round pick, and we can't draft in the 2nd round.
Y'all asking for a lot.
Yeah, we're asking for a lot of things. But if Calvin would have never got himself in trouble, we would have already had our 2nd round pick.
I asked for a lot right there. I'm like, listen, we're going to get this done on the 13th, man. Handshake it up. You know what I'm saying? Hey, we got you. Wink, wink. You know what I'm saying? 2nd round. That's a rich. That's a nice pick.
Let's see here. Barbershop Sports for free agency move will be to sign the DT the Bears just let go of earlier today. For the draft, they need offensive line help. Okay.
Defensive tackle for the Bears. Who got let go?
Who is that? Yeah, I'm gonna say who did let go?
I thought it was the center.
We gotta ask Trey about we got to talk about Lamar. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, with this new era, with this new Mahomes era that we are living in right now.
Here we go.
This new Mahomes era. Give me 2 names most likely to get blocked from a championship. 2 names, 2 quarterback names most likely to get blocked.
One of them, the 2, because since I don't see it really happening on the AFC like that, just because it's the AFC, not the AFC, but the NFC. But the 2 ones on that other side is going to be Josh Allen and Joey Burrow. I feel like Lamar can possibly get him one. I feel like he can sneak in there one good time. But I don't know about Joey or Josh right now. So a lot of question marks around Josh Allen, and I feel like Joey Burrow has to have that squad again.
You've been kind of hard on Buffalo and Josh all year. I don't know what they did. You must have had a bad Buffalo wing or something. My
my thing about it is Josh Allen is good. I just don't believe he can show up when it matters. I just don't believe he shows up when it matters.
I'm gonna say very quickly. Now, DT, who you got? Who you got, DT?
Yo, this is tough. Cause man, I ain't gonna lie. I think it's gonna be tough for Lamar to get back, bro. I think Burrow and Josh can eventually get one. I don't know about Lamar right now, bro. I think this is their best shot, in my opinion.
What? Who will the Ravens?
Yeah. I thought this was their shot, yo. Like, but then like the question about the wide receivers, I knew
This is
they
the best
won't.
shot that they've had for sure since he's been there. But I mean, it can be
Yeah.
better. That can be better.
I don't know, man.
Who's your other one?
Lamar and if I had to choose between I'll probably have to say Allen. I think Joe Burrow, we seen him, he beat Mahomes and stuff. He's had success against him. So I'll probably say Allen, and Lamar probably won't get it, bro.
I'm rooting for Lamar. I'm gonna give Lamar a little bit.
I am too, but it's just
I feel like Lamar. I feel like Lamar can sneak in. That's the problem. I feel like he can sneak in, and it will have to be like, and I don't even want to say it has to be a down year for Casey because this was a down year for them. But I will have to say this: it's like one of those sneak ins that they have to really.
What's the sneak into the Super Bowl? What's the sneak in?
No,
Yeah, that's
I know.
what I'm
You gotta get past them. What I'm saying, like sneak in, is like you gotta really catch KC really sleeping. Like you got to. And I feel like Lamar can do it one good time, but you gotta really.
I think Lamar can do it. I feel what you said because I don't think they're gonna run it. You know what I'm saying? Year in, year out.
Yeah.
5, you know what I'm saying? 2 out of 4, 2 out of 5. You know, and they be very fairly competitive. You know, that's all you really need. But with that being said, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna be a little less. I'm not gonna shoot as high as you are. I think Allen and Burrow and Lamar. I don't think all of them gonna be able to do it, but they have the potential to do it. But I'm gonna go a little lower on the totem pole. I'm gonna go Herbert because he gets a lot of grace in terms of how good he is. But I think he's gonna get caught up. He may not see the time of day in the championship. And in the NFC, I'm gonna go. I hate to say it, but I'm gonna go with my man Hurts, man, from Philly. It's a lot of crazy things going on with their coaches.
Okay, so you doing AFC and NFC.
I'm just like young upcoming top quarterbacks who we think who we think had a great chance of eating. Because hey, Barkley ain't getting no ring. Karl Malone, he ain't getting no ring. Some of the greats. Dan Marino, he ain't getting no ring. Some of the greats.
Yeah, you're right.
You run into these
generational
talents, man. They block you from getting rings.
I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna say this because we all seen it and we all know, and I'm just gonna say completely, we all basically seen Brady get beat by Eli Manning. We seen that, okay?
Yeah,
twice.
He needs to eat it.
Okay. Twice.
That's what Goff probably gonna do to Mahomes. That's what I'm saying.
Mahomes needs to Eli.
Goff to Mahomes, something like that. It's gonna be something you ain't never really seen. That's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? My boy 2-0 against him, so that's what I'm saying.
I like this take. Stroud could crack the Chiefs code too. Like I said, right? I just feel like we're talking about top QBs. Like Joey Burrow, I agree. Ann said it. He needs to get healthy. That's one, but they still have to put together a team. You know what I mean? Like they still have to do it. I don't have any faith in Josh Allen, so I'm not even going to say anything. But we're like I really don't. Stroud can really get his man. Like I said, get his man his team. I feel like Stroud could. That's why I said I feel like if you give Lamar an opportunity, he can sneak in there too. I'm not going to say the Chiefs are not beatable because we thought Brady wasn't beatable.
Stroud can do it, but is it more so that he's good or is it a combination of maybe he catches? Now, if he does it in the next 2 or 3 years, okay, possibly. But I see him more so catching Mahomes on the way out. I see him more like 4 or 5 years down the road. And Mahomes is more so kind of.
Eli didn't catch Brady on the way out either, though.
But see, Eli not really top dog like that, though. We don't really look at Eli like I'm talking about some of the top. Like right now, in terms of quarterbacks, it is an extremely high level of quarterbacking supposedly being played right now. Like I'm talking about my guy Goff. Goff like the 15th best quarterback. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of high level quarterbacking going on, but with the level that Mahomes is doing, even some of these high level guys are not going to sniff no ships because
they're not.
If he continues to do what he does, and we hoping we hoping
I
Eli
like this comparison.
Goff. We hoping Eli equals Goff. Talk that talk. What's that? Jaja, talk that talk.
That's Jaja.
Yeah, we hoping.
But I like this.
Jaja, that's real close to Zaza. I like that name.
Look. Mahomes is MJ, Lamar is Barkley, Allen is Ewing, 49ers is the Utah Jazz, Burrow is Penny, the air we're in right now. We can crack that Chiefs code. I mean, it can happen. It can happen. It can. I'm not like I said.
Lamar gotta want it. That's one thing I will say. When I see Burrow play against Mahomes, when I see Josh Allen play against Mahomes, it's balls to the wall. They trying to play at a high level. They may make mistakes, but they gotta want it. They're playing at a very, very high level. Lamar, I haven't seen that from him in that game, in that moment. That's the criticism.
Yeah. I mean,
but he ain't. But on the other side, he ain't playing with the Diggs. He ain't playing with the Chase or Higgins either. So I don't know.
Yeah, and that was my thing with when they played the Chiefs, because the Chiefs on the outside, they had the guys to. I mean, the wide receivers, they were okay. Zay Flowers was the only one that was truly, getting open and stuff like that. But other than that, they didn't really have no passing game as consistently. And I felt like
Odell wasn't what we thought he was going to be. He was a shell of himself. Bateman didn't really pan out the way we thought he was going to, pan out. And then, you lost the tight end for a significant amount of time during the season. So the passing game really, and to be honest with you, even with all that, going on with the wide receivers and the tight ends, they were still a productive offense for most of the season. It's just that moment in that game, it just didn't happen.
Yeah.
They need a running back too. I don't know if they need to make a big investment, maybe in the draft, or I would love to see one of my big four running backs in free agents. I would love to see Derrick Henry or Saquon Barkley or Josh Jacobs or Austin Eckler in a Baltimore uniform playing with Lamar back there. I would love that. I would love to see one of those guys in Dallas as well playing with that. I think that would help him out a lot. So it's gonna be interesting to see, man, with the free agency, man, and everything has to offer. This upcoming off season, it's over. This whole season is over. Now we got to talk about them PA Pistons.
Oh man, look like we hitting the wire, man. This
show. Yeah. So they said Kamara is actually shopping too. So Ann is a Saints fan, so she said Kamara is shopping. So we'll see. It's just, huh?
I would love to get Alvin Kamara.
We'll see.
How many running backs y'all want, man? How many running backs y'all want, man?
What you mean? I need a guy that can, go with Brian Robinson and help me, a two-headed monster, man.
Oh, Gibson out of there. He out of there. Is that official or?
Who? Kamara? No, he's shopping.
I'm saying Gibson. I'm sorry, Gibson.
Oh, Gibson.
Chris Robinson. Y'all keep drafting running backs every year.
I mean, what's wrong with drafting running backs every year?
Just saying, what y'all trying to do, man? What's going on there, man?
I need a guy with a little bit of wiggle. Brian Robinson, he's good. He's my RB1, but I need someone to compliment him. I need thunder and lightning.
I was waiting for some type of pause action on that. You need a guy with a little bit of whip.
Pause.
I was waiting for a little, but that's okay. That's okay. That's okay.
What I meant. Pause right here, man.
Look, and if the Ravens are looking at Alvin Kamara,
Well, I mean, they had Keaton Mitchell too, though. I mean, I know he hurt, but he was highly productive.
Man,
he
your
got
greatest ability is availability. They needed him in that game. They needed somebody. That's why I think that's part of the reason they did not run the football as much in that game, because they didn't really have confidence in. I forget Gus Edwards and Keaton Mitchell was out of that game. I know they picked up Dalvin Cook, but Dalvin I think is on the downside of his career. So, real quick, Deuce. Free agency. I would love to get a pass rusher, Danielle Hunter, Josh Allen. That would be great. In the draft, I would love if we don't do that, address that need in free agency. I would love to get Braylon Trice, or the two kids out of Alabama, Arnold and young Kool-Aid at the cornerback spot. We definitely got to do something in that defensive backfield.
Kool-Aid. Keaton Mitchell's better. My son is acting a fool, so if y'all hear that, excuse me. He's playing on his video game.
I know we coming to the close of the show.
Yeah, he's acting a fool upstairs right now. Yeah.
Well, so this is it, y'all. So after this, we're going to be taking a little small break, but we're going to be back in time for the combine. And March, we know free agency is about to get light of pop. You're going to hear a lot of rumors. You're going to hear a lot of draft talk next couple months. But this is Enter the Lab podcast on Red Zone DC Media. Lady E, CHenry, your boy DT. We'll catch you guys next time. Great season, y'all.
Yes.